All right, and then I'm just going to say that we're going to be using a resistance band for today's practice. If you don't have one, you would need a yoga strap and some weights. So we're going to make our way over to our mats and we're going to begin lying down. So find your way over and go ahead and lie back. And if you're more comfortable lying with something under your head, a pillow or a blanket under your head, feel free to slide something there. And just begin with your feet on the floor, planting your feet. So imagine that your feet are planted into soil, and it's nice warm soil, and the weight of your feet kind of creating an imprint into that warm soil. Feel the weight of your body settling into that warm ground as well. And just kind of feel that sense of being held up, being supported. And allow the weight of your body to just relax into that support. Feel that sensation of your body relaxing so that your low back relaxes, your belly can relax, the tension that you hold in your shoulders can release a bit as your shoulders release back. Let the roof of your mouth soften to help release some tension in the jaw, in the neck. These are stressful times, and stress lives in our bodies. So it's really useful to take breaks in our day to try to shed some of that held tension that we hold in our bodies. So here's an opportunity to let the body return to a more natural, relaxed state and to connect with how it feels to be in this natural, relaxed state. And another way to bring ourselves into the present moment and to release tension in the body is to just do some deep breathing. So let's do that now. Let's just feel what it feels like to take a deep breath in and how it feels as that breath empties out. Give it time and space to release fully. And just continue to breathe deeply here. Really immersing yourself in what it feels like to breathe in deeply and to breathe out all the way. Notice perhaps the refreshing, energizing quality of the inhale and the calming, soothing nature of breathing out. And as you breathe in, you could invite in something positive that you might want to breathe into your practice this morning. Something that you might have been wanting to focus on or cultivate. And maybe there's some heaviness, something that's been bothering you that you would like to release. So you can breathe that out with your exhale. And do just one or two more rounds of this deep breathing. Maybe you're just breathing, maybe you're breathing something in, or maybe you're breathing something out. But as your next exhale empties out, perhaps feeling a little more centered, a little lighter, a little easier for your body or mind as we begin our practice. So let's take our feet off the floor and hug on to the knees or the shins and hug them into chest. You might sway a little bit side to side here. You might just hug the knees in close. You might take your knees apart and just kind of open up your inner thighs. Just any movement that's feeling nice for the beginning of your practice here. Let's just kind of circle at the ankles a few times in one direction and circle the other way. And then keeping the knees in, just lower your arms down at your side. We're just going to point the toes and lift both legs up in the air and then flex the feet as we drop the heels in. So again, pointing the toes will lift the legs up, flexing the feet will draw the heels down. And we'll just do that like that one more time, pointing on the way up and flexing on the way down. And then keep your feet flexed as you lift your legs up, point your toes, and bring the lower leg down. So we're flexing as we go up, and we're pointing as we come down. And just one more time like that. Getting the legs a little, offering them a little movement. All right, we'll release our feet to the floor. And just for the moment, grab your ribs. Grab and hold on to your ribs. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, knit your ribs down into your belly. Let your hands kind of help you to kind of press your ribs down into the belly. So you feel the movement of the ribs knitting in. Feel how they separate and lift as you breathe in. And as you exhale, feel how you can knit them in and down using your hands to help. And then the next time you breathe in, bring your hands behind your head. If you had something under your head, remove it. Let the weight of your head rest into your hands and take a breath in. And then as you exhale, start by knitting your ribs, just using your abdominal muscles to knit those lower ribs in. And then use that action to start to lift up your head, neck, and shoulders. Shoulder blades coming off the floor, looking out beyond your knees. And then inhale and release back. Again, exhale, knit your ribs as you curl up. And inhale and release back. Again, exhale, knit the ribs as you curl up. And this time, keep your ribs knitting into your belly, even as you release your head, neck, and shoulders back. So don't let the ribs pop up. Do that again. Knit the ribs a little bit more as you curl up. And just keep that knitting of the ribs as your head goes back and down. One more time like that. Knitting the ribs in as you curl up. And then releasing the head back and down. All right, let your head rest on the floor now. Keep your ribs knit as you reach your arms up toward the ceiling. And then can you keep your ribs knit as you reach the arms overhead? So your thumbs reaching back towards the floor as your arms go overhead. The ribs want to pop up toward the ceiling now. And just try the best you can to keep them from doing that. So bring your arms back up toward the ceiling. And then knit the ribs nice and into the belly. And again, take your arms overhead. Breathe in here. And then take your elbows out wide like cactus or goalpost arms. And then just slide your elbows in. One more time. Sweep your arms up in the air. Breathe in. Knit your ribs as your arms go overhead as you breathe out. And then again, just slide your elbows out to the side. You can let the back of the hands release back. And then bring your arms in. All right, so pick up your strap or your resistance band. Either one will work here. And just same idea, hold your arms overhead and put a little tension on your band or your strap. So it's a little bit of work to pull the strap apart. Take a breath in, exhale and knit your ribs, and then take your arms overhead, even as you're kind of resisting pulling it apart a little bit. You're pulling the band or the strap apart. And then can you, this is easier with the resistance band, take your elbows out wide, maybe let your hands press back, and then bring your arms up. So you got your elbows on the floor, your forearms on your floor, and your arms are just going to go overhead and then come back up. So if you've got the strap, you just got to get it wide enough. And if you've got the resistance band, either way, you're pulling the band or the strap apart. as your hands are in line with your elbows and they're going over and they're coming back up. So we're externally rotating that shoulder. And if you have some restriction in your shoulder, just do the best you can. Not everyone is going to be able to get their hands all the way back on the floor, but do the best that you can. Let's do that one more time. Reaching overhead with bent arms like cactus, and then coming back up. All right, go ahead and relax that. Now we're going to take the band. If you have a strap, it's not probably going to work, but so if you have the stretchy band, you're going to put it around the backs of your legs and then take the two ends, and we're just going to tie it loosely. Okay, so you're going to kind of make a bow, tie it loosely around your thighs. It doesn't have to be super tight, so that you can have your feet about hip distance apart, and there's, that's about as far. After that, you really would have to, use some strength to separate your legs. And if you don't have that resistance, it's fine. You can do this just with your legs lifting up against gravity. So then we're going to lay on our side. We're going to let our head rest on our bottom arm. We're going to bend our knees towards our device. Have your feet and your knees and your hips stacked. And so if we have the band, there's just a little bit of resistance as we lift and lower the top leg. It's still working the hip even if you don't have the band. Now your other arm that's not supporting your head, take it straight out in front of you. And as you lift your knee, you're just going to lift the arm. And then you're going to bring the arm forward. So we're just going to inhale and lift the arm up, and then bring the arm forward. All right, we're going to inhale and lift the arm up, and then we're going to just start to do circles. So sweep that arm down and reach it overhead, and as it comes up, your knee can come up. So we're just going to get some movement in the arm as we do this simple movement of lifting the knee. We're sweeping that arm up and overhead and around and behind, sweeping that arm up and overhead, round and behind, just full range of motion in your shoulder here. And then we're just going to sweep the arm the other way. Sweep it back and around and up and overhead. Sweep it back and around and up and overhead. And just one more time like that. Sweeping that arm around. And then you can place that hand down, or just you can roll and face away from your device, or just swing over to the other side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So knees are stacked, head is resting on a pillow or your arm, and the feet stay together and the knee just lifts up. So we're just kind of waking up the muscle of the hip here, outer thigh. And then the other arm can lift up as the knee comes up and come forward as the knee comes down, lifting up and coming down. And then let's start to circle that arm. So it goes back, it comes down and around, it reaches overhead, circles back and around and forward. So it's just a big range of motion in the shoulder here. Circling that arm all the way around. And then let's go the other way. Sweep that arm behind and up and around and forward and behind and up and around, and a few more like that. Sweeping that arm, waking up that range of motion in the shoulder. Great. All right, we're going to untie that band, and we're going to come around to all fours. So we'll be kneeling on all fours, and we're going to place the band across the mat. So Sharon, if you don't have a band, you can have a weight nearby. All right. So some of us have a band, and we're just going to have it under our hands as we make our way in onto all fours. And initially, just think about having your weight evenly spread out on both hands, your spine nice and long, your gaze down at your hand. Let's just do a couple of cat-cows here just to wake up the spine. You might round first, you might flex first, you might extend first, but just move your spine from arching to flexing, extending, flexing, whatever you call it, cat-cow. Just move your spine in this way where you just create a little movement and move with your breath. And then just make your way to your long neutral spine. And for those of us who have the band, you're just going to take it in one hand. So it's underneath that one hand that's on the floor, and the other hand, bring it down on the floor by your knee. And we're just going to lift it up and lower it down. And so if you don't have the band and you just have a weight, you're just going to lift the weight up and lower it down. So we're lifting the band up, straight back, and bringing it down by the knee. Lifting it back and down by the knee. Lifting it back and down by the knee. So we're waking up the back of the arm here. Now this time lift it up and then keep your upper arm as it is from your shoulder to your elbow. Bend your lower arm in and then extend it straight back. So bend the lower arm in and extend it straight back. Bend that lower arm in, extend it straight back. We'll do 2 more. And then when you go back this time, just hold it there. And maybe lift it a little higher and take a breath. And then release it down. All right, we'll do that on the other side. So square yourself up. I'll just change sides so you can see this better. And then take your arm back so your hand is by your knee and there's some tension in the band. And then lift the arm straight back and drop it down. Now, if your wrists bother you, you could be down on your forearm here. That would work if you need a little break for your wrist. So we're just going up and down, straight back. And then this next time as you lift the arm up, keep the elbow where it is, bend the lower arm in and extend straight back. Bend it in and extend straight back. Bend it in and extend back. And bend it in and extend it back. And hold here. Maybe lift a little higher. Great. And then release down. Okay, we're going to turn now and face towards the camera. We're going to be sitting with our legs out in front. So you're going to use the resistance band. You could also do this with your strap. And you just will have a little less ability to pull, but you can play around with it. All right, so we're going to start with the band out in front, with our legs out in front. Now, if you're more comfortable, you could do this sitting on the edge of a chair. If you're more comfortable with a little support under you to elevate your hips so that it's a little more comfortable with your legs out in front, that's fine too. So we're starting with our arms out in front, about shoulder width apart. And I want you to just pull back, kind of like a bow and arrow, right? So you're just pulling back and keeping your elbow at the height of your shoulder. We'll do the same arm a couple times. Pull back and go forward. So you can pull back just with your elbow, but then I want you to start to turn a little bit in that direction. So you're kind of twisting your trunk and then bring the arm forward. So you're pulling back and then twisting in that direction and then bringing the arm forward. We'll do this side one more time. Pull back and then twist. And then let's try the other side. So we're gonna pull back and just come forward. Getting that arm at the height of the shoulder and come forward. Pull back and come forward. Now this time we're gonna pull back and then we're gonna twist in that direction and then come forward. So we're pulling back, we're gonna twist and come forward. Pull back and twist and come forward and pull back and twist and come forward. You can give yourself a little break for a moment. Yeah, and if you're using the strap, you know, you're just going to have a little less resistance as you come forward. All right, so now you're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull back, but as you pull back, if you want to add a little challenge, you're going to lean back and then come forward. So you're going to pull back, lean back, and then you could twist. So there's lots of options. You could be sitting up straight, you could be leaning back, and you could be twisting at the same time. Pulling back, so you're just going to activate your core a little bit more when you add in the lean. Yeah. We'll do one more on this side, and then we'll do the other side. So pulling back and maybe adding the lean, pulling back and maybe adding the lean and the twist, or you could be just sitting upright and doing the twist. So lots of options here. Trying to keep the arm that's pulling back at the height of the shoulder. One more time on this side. And then you can give it a little rest. All right, one more variation here. Starting with the arms out in front. We're gonna pull back and maybe lean back, and then take that arm that's behind and press it up. As you sit up, you're gonna press. And then you're gonna pull back, and then you're gonna go forward. Let's do the other side. Pull back, lean back, then press that arm up as you come up, and then pull back, lean back, and then bring the arm forward. Again, pull back, lean back, press that arm up as you come up, pull back, lean back, and reach forward. Other side, pull back, lean back, and then press straight up from there as you sit up, pull back, lean back, and press forward. One more time each side. Pull back, lean back, come up and press straight up, pull back, lean back, and press forward. Last one, pull back, lean back, press it up, pull back, lean back, and bring it forward. Nice job. All right, set that down. We're going to turn sideways on our mat, and we're just going to open up the shoulders a little bit with a reverse table. So our arms are going to be behind the body, our feet are going to be on the floor. Your hands could be turned sideways or slightly turned in rather than turned out. It's better for the shoulder if they're angled more inward when your arms are behind. So you can start with a little bend in your elbows. Have your feet fairly close, feet as wide as hips. And could you start to lift your hips up? Start to straighten your arms and see if you can get your hips up pretty high. Now, can you broaden across the chest? Feel space from shoulder to shoulder as you press your feet down and lift your hips up. So you're working the backs of the legs here to bring the hips up into the air. Try to keep some space across your chest. So you're not letting the shoulders drop in towards each other. You're broadening the space out between your shoulders. Take a breath here. And then lower yourself back down. Nice job. All right, let's come all the way around to kneeling. And we're just going to take a moment in child's pose. So we're going to sit back into child's pose, reach your arms out in front, and lower your forehead to the floor. Or you could rest your head on your bent arms. Take a moment here to just check in and breathe. Notice how you're feeling. And then lift your head up and make your way to downward facing dog. So curl the toes under, take your hips up and back. Feel your hands pressing down as your hips lift up and back. And then feel the weight of your head just dropping off of your spine. Release your neck by moving your head a little bit side to side. Just free up tension in your neck with this traction of the weight of the head here. And let's bend a knee and press a heel down, and bend the other knee and press the other heel down. And just alternate here, maybe moving your hips a little, maybe moving your head. And then let's bend both our knees and really draw the hips way up and back as we breathe in and out. And then we'll just walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering the heels, ending up folded over, bent legs, ragdoll position here. Big breath into your upper back. As you exhale, begin to draw the belly in, and we're going to slowly, gradually roll ourselves up. Just letting the spine stack on top of itself, kind of articulate, and eventually stacking the head up over the shoulders. And then let's turn to face our device, and we'll again pick up the band, or you could use your yoga strap here. So we're going to stand with our feet beneath us. I'm going to step back a little so you can see my arms when I reach overhead. All right, so we have our feet beneath us about hip distance apart. just for a moment, we won't use what we're holding on to, and we're just gonna lift the heels up and lower them down. So lift your heels up and lower them down. And just get the hang of this. Balancing on the balls of your feet and lowering down. All right, now take the strap in your hand and reach your arms overhead. So again, there's some tension. Your arms are a little wider than your shoulders, and it's a little bit of work to pull the strap apart. So we're gonna rise up on the balls of the feet, and as we come down, we're just gonna take the arms wide. We're gonna inhale and reach up, exhale, bring it down. Inhale, reach up, exhale, lower down. Now you can bring that strap down in front of your chin, or you could try taking it behind your head. So either way, you could alternate in front of your chin and up and behind your head. But think about when we knitted the ribs in at the beginning and took our arms overhead. See if you're pushing your ribs forward, especially when your arms go behind, and try and keep a little bit of knitting of your ribs in. So the movement's coming from your shoulders and not from just arching your back. So do that a few more times. Working the ankles, working the calves, working on balance and shoulder strength and mobility here. All right, one more time behind, maybe one more time in front. And this time we'll go up and then we'll come down and lower the arms down. Good job. Okay. Well, we can set the band down for right now. We're going to come and stand at the front of our mat, and we're going to do a little bit of a flow. So let's root ourselves down to stand tall, and then reach the arms out, get nice and broad, and then reach the arms up, breathing in. As we exhale, we'll swan dive forward, holding over bent knees. And then we'll bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here as you lift your hips up and back. Exhale and lower to straight arm plank. Pushing the floor away as we hold this nice, long, strong position here. We can hold here with knees off the floor. We can always let the knees come down if that's better for you. Let's take a breath here. And then separate your feet so they're hip distance apart so that you can roll to the sides of your feet. Press down with one arm and lift the other arm up. Nice side plank here. Could you lift your hips a little higher as you take a breath in? And then come back to plank. Pull up to down dog. Breathe in. Exhale to lower to straight arm plank. And then we'll do the other side. I should have mentioned, you could also drop to the knee and turn the foot back and then lift up. Or we're just going to roll to the sides of the feet and lift up. Either way is fine. Can you lift your hips a little higher, taking a breath? And then we'll come back and lift up to down dog, taking a breath. We'll exhale to straight arm plank. We'll take a breath here. Let's try a little bend in the elbows now. Elbows pointing back towards the feet. We'll take a breath here. And then you might drop to knees. We're going to lower ourselves down onto belly, into our prone mountain. Slide the heels of your hands back a little bit. Sink your chest and your nose close to the floor. Let's inhale now up to baby cobra. Lifting the chest, pulling the heart forward. Heel of the hands can press back a little bit here as the heart lifts up. And then we'll lower back down. Let's do that again. Inhaling up to baby cobra. We'll lift our hands. We'll lift the elbows. We'll hug the elbows in as the heart pulls forward. And then we'll release the chest, the hands and chest down. Let's keep the hands down now as we come up to baby cobra and maybe a little bit higher into cobra. And then we'll lower back down. Great, let's push up to knees. Curl the toes under and lift the knees, and then lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Let's walk our hands back towards the feet, dropping the heels down. folded over bent knees. We're going to bend the knees and lower the hips. Bring hands to heart, keep the hips low, and we'll reach the arms out in front. I'm sitting on my plant here. And then reach your arms up, and then push into the feet and legs to rise up. Breathe in. We're going to go right back down. We're going to exhale and fold over. We're going to walk our hands out to downward facing dog. We'll take a breath here. Exhale to straight arm plank. We'll take a breath here. Exhale, little bend in the elbows. We'll take a breath here. Exhale and lower all the way down to prone mountain. All right. Let's take our arms out in front, right, overhead. And just keep your neck long so you're looking down at the floor. Start by pressing your hips down into the floor, the front of your hips down. And just lift one leg up and then lower it down. And lift the other leg up and lower it down. Now as you lift one leg, I want you to lift the opposite arm up. Breathe in. And then lower that arm and leg down. And then lift the other leg up and the opposite arm up. Breathe in and lower back down. So opposite arm and opposite leg lift and lower. Opposite arm and opposite leg lift and lower. One more time like this on each side. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Now, can we lift both legs and lift both arms? Inhale, and then lower down. Exhale. Lift arms and legs, and lower. Two more. Reach out, and lower. And last one. Lift, and lower. Nice work. We'll bring our hands back next to chest. Let's push up to knees. And then can we just lower back down? We'll do a few push-ups. You can push up to knees and lower down. You could push up to knees and then lift the knees and drop onto the knees and lower down. Or you could try, just not using the knees, coming up and down without using the knees. So use the knees on the way up or on the way down, however you need. We'll just do a few more of these. Coming up and coming down and coming up and coming down. Great. Let's come up to our push-up position and then come back to down dog. And I want you to take one hand and just touch the shin of that same leg and then put that hand down. Take the other hand, touch the shin of the same leg. Put that hand down. So you're just touching and putting the hand back down, touching. And now you could touch the opposite shin, or maybe you can reach all the way back for your ankle. So you decide. We'll just do that a couple more times. Just putting a little more impact, weight bearing into the shoulders here. All right. Let's walk both hands back towards the feet. End up folded over bent knees here. We're going to again bend the knees, lower the hips, bring hands to heart. Keep the hips low, lift the chest up. Reach your arms forward and sit back even more, nice and low into your chair squat. We'll reach the arms up by the ears. We'll breathe in and out here. And then push down to rise up. Big breath in as you reach up. And exhale, arms down at your side. Great. All right, let's pick up our resistance band again. And if you don't have a resistance band, for this one, you're just going to want to pick up 2 weights. If you have the resistance band, you're going to step on it. You're going to hold it at the ends and then try and step into the middle of it. And have your feet hip distance apart. And you're holding about the same amount of band on either side of your 2 feet. Okay, So that's how we get going. But now you can leave one foot where it is, take the other foot and take a big step back. And you can start with the heel down, but then we're going to lift that heel up and rotate it so it's pointing straight back. So now you can adjust the resistance on the band by, holding it lower or curling around. We're going to lunge. We're going to bend the back knee and bend the front knee. And as we do that, we're going to bicep curl. So we're going to straighten and lower and bend and curl. Straighten and lower, bend and curl. So if you want more resistance, you just hold the band lower or you curl it around your hands a few times. If you got the weights, you're just bicep curling with the weights. So we're bending both knees and curling up and then lowering down. Curling up. The band wants to pull your arms down quick and you're going to resist. So lower with control. Curling up. So you want to make it challenging. Biceps are strong, so put some resistance on that band. Hold it a little closer to the floor or curl it around your hands. I'm going to do a few more here. Curl and lower and curl and lower. All right, so now keep your back leg straight. Just bend your front knee and lean forward a bit. And then you're going to take the band, try to get the same amount of resistance on the two sides, and then lift it out to the side and down. Lift it straight out to the side and down. Lateral fly here and down. Your fists could be pointing towards your feet. Out to the side and down. Out to the side and down. Let's do two more. Out to the side and down. And last one. Out to the side and down. Okay, we're going to step that back foot in. Put it into the, strap underneath you. You can straighten up for a moment. And then when you're ready, bend and take a big step back with your other foot. Big step back. You can start with your heel down, but then lift it up. Your feet are hip distance apart. So you're going to maybe have to put a little more resistance in the hand where the leg is back to get the same amount of resistance on the band. And we're going to bend the back knee down, front knee will bend as well, and we're going to curl. And then we're going to lower. Curling up as we lunge, lowering down. Curling up as we lunge, lower down with control. Curl up and lower down. Curl up and lower down. Curl up, lower down. Lots of resistance. Curl up and lower. A few more here. And lower. And curl and lower. Two more. And curl and lower. And last one. Great. All right, let's keep the back leg straight. Bend the front knee, lean forward. Put about the same amount of resistance on the band. And then lift out to the side. Or if you got the weights, you're just lifting out with the weights. So we're going straight out to the side and lowering down. Same thing, the band is going to pull your hands down quick. So resist on the way down. Lower with control. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Let's do 4 more and 3 more and 2 more and last one. Great. All right, you can just step your back foot in and we'll straighten up. All right, coming over into a wide stance. Again, this next one can be done with a resistance band. You could also do this with your yoga strap. We're going to come from this wide stance into turning a back foot out and a front foot forward. So back foot's angled in, front foot's angled out. So put the band or strap in the front foot hand. Turn your palm up so it rests in your hand. Take your arm up, grab it, and then bend your elbow so that a long part of the strap is dangling down by your spine. Take your other hand and reach back and grab the band or the strap. And then walk your hands fairly close to each other, especially if you have the stretchy band. So what we find we do this is we push our ribs out. So can you knit your ribs into your belly and try and straighten your head up? And now, especially with the resistance band, we're going to be able to pull up and down. That's what we're going to try and do. We're going to pull up and pull down. Maybe you can see that here. All right, and as we do that, we're going to bend the front knee as we pull up and down, and then we're going to straighten. If you just have a yoga strap, you're not going to get that movement of the strap so much up and down, but you're pulling up and down without all this stretchiness. You can do the same idea though. So we can breathe in as we're pulling up and down, breathe out as we let go of that, stretch a little bit. Let's do 4 more and 3 more and 2 more and 1 more. Great. Okay, release the bottom hand from the strap, release the top hand, and change your feet. So this back foot turns in and your other foot turns out. And then this front leg, put the strap or the band in that hand, palm to the ceiling, and then lift your arm up and then bend your elbow so that the long end is dropping behind you. Take your other hand and grab that long end. And if you have the stretchy band, bring your hands fairly close together. Now you may have pushed your ribs out. So knit your ribs, straighten your head up if you can, and then just try pulling up and down and then going back. And can you do that as you bend your front knee and go back? Bending the knee and going back. Bending the knee. As you pull up and down, we can breathe in and breathe out. Let's do 4 more and 3 more and 2 more and last one. Good job. All right, release your bottom hand, release your top hand. Turn your feet forward now, so you're in a straddle. Have your feet parallel. Take the band or the strap behind you. Hold it about a little narrower than your hips or wider than your hips, depending on if you have the band or the strap. And push down into your feet and legs, straighten yourself up, breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to hinge forward to flat back. And right now you're just holding the strap or the band. You're not really doing anything with it. So we're going to come to flat back, and then we're going to just push down into the feet and legs to come back up. So right now your arms aren't doing much. You're just hinging forward to flat back, and then pushing down into the feet and legs to straighten back up. Let's do that again. Hinge forward. Your knees can soften a bit here if that's better for your low back. And then push down. Maybe you feel how the hamstrings work to bring you back up. This time hinge forward to flat back. And then pull the strap apart behind you. If you have the resistance band, you can actually pull it wider apart. If you have the strap, you're just kind of pulling. Now continue to fold over. Your knees can soften more. Your head can drop down. And then pull the strap apart and reach it up toward the ceiling. Maybe it can reach and drop a little more forward. What feels right for your shoulders? Breathe in here. And then pulling the strap apart, reach it back towards the wall behind you. Push into your feet and legs and come up to flat back. Pause here. And on your next inhale, push down to come all the way up. Right, all right. You can put the strap in one hand and walk your feet together. And we're gonna make our way down onto the floor, sitting. So we're done with the band and straps and weights and everything now. You can set those all aside. And I want you to put your hands behind you, bring your legs in, And then separate your legs. I'm going to turn on an angle. Separate your legs so they're wider than your hips. Your feet are wider than your hips. And then just kind of roll to the sides of your feet, letting your knees drop to one side. Bring them up. Roll to the sides of the feet, letting your knees drop partially to the other side. Bring your knees up. Roll again to the first side. Just kind of notice how this feels in the hips. Bring your knees up. So this time, roll your knees over to the side, and this time we're going to let them come all the way down. That arm that's behind, let it come up. So you get both knees down. You both legs are bent kind of 90 degrees. This arm that's behind, start to bring it forward. Start to sweep it around, and you're going to twist and turn towards the wall behind you. Reach back towards the wall behind you and take a breath. And then bring that arm forward as you breathe out. And reach it around behind you, put it down, bring your knees up. We'll do that on the other side. Let your knees drop all the way to the other side, bent knees. They come down, that arm from behind comes off the floor. Sweep it around, sweep it all the way around towards the wall behind you, so you're in a twist. Take a breath. And then bring that arm back around, forward. Again, start to reach back, lean back, bring your knees up. Same thing, going to that side that we started with the knees coming all the way down. We're going to take the arm from behind, but this time we're just going to bring it around and place it kind of alongside that front shin. The other hand is going to be on the other side of the front knee. So we're going to orient the chest over this front knee, and we're going to lower the chest down. We're going to bring our forearms onto the floor, and we're going to lower the head down. Maybe the head rests on the arms, maybe it doesn't get that far. We have our chest down over that front knee, and we're just going to breathe. We're stretching into that front hip now, the leg that we're laying over. Getting a stretch into that hip. It's kind of like a modified pigeon here. We're going to take a breath in and let it empty all the way out. And then I want you to kind of push this front leg down to help you come back up. So we're going to try leaning into that leg again. And as we come back up, think about pushing that front leg down to help you rise up. So we're leaning forward and then pushing down with this leg to help you come up. One more time like that, just getting a little work into that front hip. Push down to bring yourself up. Okay, so now we're going to lean in a little bit, and this back leg, we're going to lift it up off the floor and lower it down. And then just give it a rest. So if this doesn't feel good for your hips, don't do this. You can just be in that pigeon pose. But if this feels all right for you, you can build a little strength in that back hip by lifting the leg and lowering down. So for another little angle on hip mobility, we could maybe lift the leg up and swing it out in front and bring it forward and lean back. And then take that leg and swing it around behind, hold it up, and then lower it down. Give it a little rest. How does that feel? Lean forward, lift the knee up, straighten the leg and swing it around, lean back a little bit. Swing the leg back around, hold it up, and put it down. If that's working for you, we'll do it one more time. If that doesn't feel right for your body, your hips, then just be leaning over in a nice pigeon stretch. All right, we'll drop that knee down. So now we're going to start to lean back and bring the knees up, and we're going to let the knees drop over to the other side. Yeah, I'm going to turn so I can see you better. So we have both knees on the floor. This arm that was behind, we're going to bring it around and just bring it in front of the shin. So your hands are on either side of the front knee. Orient your chest over this leg. We're going to lower down, and we're going to come onto our forearms, and your head can drop down. So you just adjust the angle of this front leg so that you feel a stretch into that hip that you're lying over here. And breathe. Nice. So you can always come back to being right here. Or we can try pushing that front leg into the floor to help you bring your torso upright. So we're going to lean in And can you push down with this front leg to bring yourself back up? Lean in, push down to come up. One more time. Lean in, push down to come up. All right, so now we're going to try that back leg. Lean in a little bit. Can you lift that back leg up and put it down? Try it again. Lean in, lift it up, and put it back down. If that feels all right for you, you might try leaning in, lifting it up, and then start to straighten it out and swing it around. And then swing it back around and lower it down. Try that again. Lean in, lift it up, swing it forward and around, lean back, swing it back and around, hold it up, and lower it down. Maybe we'll go one more time. Lift, swing it around, swing it back around, and relax. Great. All right. Lean back, bring your knees up, and then just shake your legs out a little bit. Good work. All right. I lied. We have one more thing to do with our band or our strap. We're going to lie back, and we're going to take one foot and put the strap or the band around the ball of the foot. Okay. So your other leg, you can have your knees bent, feet on the floor. So I want you to pull down so your elbows come to the floor, and then reach up. Pull down, elbows come out to your side, like straight out from your shoulders, and then come back up. Pull down, elbows wide, and then come back up. Now, if you have the stiff strap, you're gonna actually probably rather do this with weights because you're not gonna have enough strap for this. If you have the stretchy band, we're gonna pull down, and you might need to go more towards the ends of your strap. Can you take your arms into cactus so they're a right angle, and then come up and then reach up? So pull down and then take the backs of your hands to the floor and then come up and pull up. Let's change legs because we're getting a stretch in that leg with the straps around. We're going to pull down and then back of the hands try to go down and then come up and go up. Do that again. Pull down, back of the hands, come up and go up. One more time. Pull down, back of the hands, come up, and nice job. All right. You can set that strap off to the side. Just hug your knees in. Maybe sway. Just kind of preparing for the completion of our practice here. If there's one more movement that your body would like, you can offer it to yourself now. And we're going to start to prepare for our final relaxation. So if it's chilly where you are, you might want to put on a layer or put a blanket over you. If you're more comfortable with something under your head or under your knees, you can set yourself up so that you have that support. So just taking whatever time you need to prepare yourself to be able to relax, to be comfortable, warm. Kind of like if you were settling in for a nap or for, nighttime, you'd make yourself comfortable. So in the same way, we're doing that now. So that when we finally make our way into this lying down position, it feels good to be here. And as we find our way to this lying down position, we're just going to allow the body to soften and settle. Relax. Open. Release. Unclench. Smooth out. let go. Whatever word might be appropriate as a cue to yourself, to allow yourself to drop a little deeper and a little deeper into relaxation. We worked a whole lot of muscles in our practice, so they're primed for relaxation. We give them this time and space to repair themselves. The muscles that are working now are knitting new little connections to build strength. But our job is to just let that process happen. There's nothing we have to do. And this relaxation in the body affects the state of the mind. Let the mind relax like your body. Let it be free, unencumbered. Allowing ourselves to feel a sense of lightness, a sense of ease. Giving ourselves a little break, an opportunity to refresh and renew. So you could stay here longer if you like. Or if you're ready to come out, you might take your next breath in a little deeper. Slowly, gradually begin to open your eyes. Maybe bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor. Transition gently, maybe by rolling to your side and spending a little time there. Just taking your time as you make your way back. Gently, you might bring yourself up to sitting. And it's always nice to take a few moments at the end of our practice for a little reflection. Perhaps considering how you'd like to move forward today. What would you like to bring forth, bring into the world, bring into your day? And with love and gratitude, thanks for being here. Peace. And I see some of you have made your way off already. If you're still with me, you're welcome to make your way off or come and say hello or goodbye. It's been great to be with you.